Hey guys, Dan with West Valley Technical Services back with you again to answer some more questions that get submitted. Please keep them coming. We love to hear from you guys and always happy to share our expertise and our experience out in the field to hopefully be able to help you and add value to you wherever we can. Let's start with our first question, which is how often should I back up my computer? The easy answer is every day. Every day, even on the weekends, every day. Just every 24 hours, after hours, if it's a work computer, 7 p.m. or whatever, and just leave the computer on. I've said that in a previous FAQ that we recommend leaving computers on 24/7 if at all possible. Your computer, if it's a Windows machine, also does something else called shadow copies, usually twice a day by default, where it takes like a snapshot of your data. So on top of your ability to restore from a full backup, a lot of times you can restore your files from one of these snapshots too. So if that's something you want more information about, at the end of the video I'll tell you how to get in touch with us. We'll be happy to answer that question. So every day, that's your answer. Whether you're using the built-in Windows software, which I think does every day by default, or a third-party one like Veeam, Endpoint Protection, Crash Plan, most of them are going to do every day. All right, next question. Why is my cooling fan always running? Well, it can vary. The obvious answer is the computer is obviously hot. Fans are controlled by a sensor inside the computer that says, oh, if it hits this certain temperature, I'm going to turn the fan on. And so if it never makes it back below that temperature, chances are it's because it's always staying above that. If it's an older computer, it might indicate that there's this grease that's used to connect the heat sink, the fan, to your processor, and over time that stuff starts to crystallize and be less effective. So if it's a really old computer, it's possible that you're in a scenario where maybe that needs to be changed out, and you'd want to reach out to your IT professional if that's the case. Newer computers, though, generally tend to turn on and off. I know the latest laptop that I just bought, the fan almost never comes on. So generally speaking, if it's a newer computer and the fan's always on, it may just be a setting. A lot of times there's a setting in what's called the BIOS, which is the settings window for your internal components. Once again, that might be an IT visit. Maybe call your IT guy or take it to a shop if it's an issue. Honestly, most of the time the fan can keep the machine cool anyway, so it's probably not worth paying somebody to look at it. But if it overheats and it shuts down, then yeah, this is obviously something you need to concern with. But that would be some reasons why the fan would be running. Next question, modems, routers, switches, hubs. I'm confused. What is all that? So all of these things are different components that go into networking computers. A modem is probably obviously what you get from your internet provider. If it's Cable One or cable or DSL or whatever, they're going to provide some kind of device that allows you to plug into the cable in the wall or maybe the phone lines in the wall, and then it turns that signal into something your computer can use with the big Ethernet plug. So that's what a modem does. A router, those typically you get, you might pick one up at the store. Sometimes the modems have them built in. They might even have wireless built in. The router is what allows your internal network to talk to the big external network. Okay, basically the rule of thumb is just that a router allows two separate networks to talk to each other. For computers on this network to talk to computers on this network, whether we're talking about the big wide internet or just your home network, and like at a university or something like that, or maybe there's two buildings, they'll have one network in one building, one network in another building, and there'll be a router in between the two that allows the computers in this building to talk to that building. Switches are what allow multiple computers on the same network to talk. So there'd be a switch is just a device that's got a whole bunch of network ports in it. You'd connect all the computers in, say, that building, using that last analogy, all the computers in one building would all connect into this switch, and then there'd be a router, and then there'd be another switch in the other building that all the computers are connected into, and the switches are what allow everything on the network to talk to each other. The router is what allows everything on this switch to talk to everything on that switch. So hubs were a predecessor to switches. They do the exact same thing that switches do, except that they are nowhere near as efficient. And honestly, you shouldn't see them anymore unless you're shopping at a secondhand store. So never ever use hubs. They're just old technology that nobody really uses anymore. So hopefully that clarifies that a little bit. If you do have any more questions about that, shoot us a line and we'll be happy to clarify anything. All right, last question. That was it. If you have one, like I said, reach out to us. If none of that, if that didn't clarify it enough for you, go to our website, wvtsboise.com, and hit the contact link up in the top right corner and fill out the form. We'll be happy to get back in touch with you and see if we can help you with whatever you're dealing with. Our phone number is 208-477-1837. If you prefer to give us a ring too, we'll be happy to hear from you. We'll see you in the next video.